I knew I was in trouble the moment Patricia looked at my wine glass. It was our first family dinner at Daniel's parents' house. I dressed carefully. Modest blouse, long skirt, minimal jewelry. I'd prayed in the car for favor. I wanted so badly for them to like me. The restaurant was upscale, the kind with cloth napkins and a sommelier. When he came by to offer the wine list, I ordered a glass of Pinot Grigio. Nothing excessive, just a single glass with my salmon. Daniel's mother watched the sommelier pour with an expression I couldn't quite read. "I didn't realize you drank alcohol," she said, her voice syrup sweet. "Daniel's father and I believe the body is a temple. We've raised him to abstain." I glanced at Daniel, waiting for backup. He studied his menu like it contained the secrets of the universe. "It's just one glass," I said, forcing a smile. "I don't drink often, but I enjoy wine with dinner sometimes." Patricia's lips pressed into a thin line. "Well, different upbringings, I suppose." That was the first mark against me. There would be many more. Daniel and I met at a Bible study for young professionals. He was everything I'd prayed for. Kind, stable, devoted to his faith, looking for marriage rather than games. We dated for a year before he introduced me to his family, and I assumed that meant he was serious. "My mom can be a lot," he warned me before that first dinner. "She's very protective. Just be yourself. She'll love you." She did not love me. Over the following months, Patricia made her disapproval crystal clear, never directly, always with plausible deniability. When I mentioned my career in marketing, "How wonderful that you have something to keep you busy until the children come." When I wore pants to Sunday lunch, "Daniel's sisters always wear skirts. We believe in traditional femininity." When I shared that I'd grown up in a different denomination, "Oh, that explains a few things. We'll have to make sure you receive proper teaching before the wedding." Each comment was delivered with a smile. Each one was a knife. 6 months into our relationship, Patricia handed me a book. "I thought this might be helpful," she said. "A guide to being a godly wife. I've highlighted the key passages." I thanked her and took it home. The highlighted sections made my stomach turn. A godly wife never contradicts her husband in public. A godly wife manages the home so her husband can focus on provision. A godly wife submits to her mother-in-law's wisdom, recognizing her experience. That last line was underlined 3 times. I brought it up to Daniel that night. She gave me a book about submission, with notes about respecting your mother. He sighed. "She means well. She just wants to make sure you're prepared." "Prepared for what? To never have my own opinion?" "Rebecca, come on. She's from a different generation. Just humor her, please, for me." I should have pushed harder, should have demanded he draw a line, but I loved him, and I thought love meant compromise, so I humored her. For a year. Daniel proposed on Christmas Eve, in front of his entire family. His mother cried. His father shook his hand. His sisters surrounded me with hugs and questions about wedding dates. For one beautiful moment, I thought everything would be different now. That Patricia's resistance had been about protection, and now that I was officially family, she'd accept me. I was wrong. The wedding planning became a battlefield. My dress was too modern. My venue was too secular. My choice of colors was not what Daniel's grandmother would have wanted. When I suggested my childhood pastor co-officiate with their family minister, Patricia's response was swift. "Absolutely not. We don't know his theology. What if he says something inappropriate? He's known me since I was 12. Rebecca," her voice sharpened, "this is a Miller family wedding. We have traditions, standards. Surely you understand." I looked at Daniel. "Say something?" I begged silently. "Stand up for me." He looked at the floor. "Maybe we can compromise. Your pastor could do a reading instead." A reading. My spiritual father, reduced to a scripture recitation so Patricia could maintain control. I agreed, because I'd been agreeing for so long I'd forgotten how to do anything else. 3 weeks before the wedding, Patricia invited me to tea. Just the two of us, she said, future mother and daughter-in-law, building our bond. I went, determined to extend every olive branch I had. She was waiting in her formal living room, tea service perfectly arranged, expression perfectly pleasant. Rebecca, I want to be honest with you. My stomach dropped. Nothing good ever followed those words. I've been praying about this wedding, seeking the Lord's guidance, and I have concerns. Concerns about what? About whether you're truly the right match for Daniel. I set down my teacup before my shaking hands could drop it. Patricia, we're getting married in 3 weeks, which is why we need to address this now. She folded her hands. You're a lovely girl, Rebecca, but you weren't raised in our tradition. You have worldly tendencies, the drinking, the career ambition, the insistence on maintaining your own perspectives. My own perspectives? A godly wife supports her husband's vision. She doesn't compete with it. Daniel is destined for ministry leadership. He needs a helpmeet, not a partner with her own agenda. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I don't have an agenda. I just want to be myself. That's precisely the problem. Patricia's smile didn't waver. You want to be yourself, but marriage isn't about self. It's about dying to self, becoming one with your husband, adopting his family's values. His family's values or your values? The smile disappeared. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. I stood up. My hands were trembling, but my voice was steady. Patricia, I love your son. I've tried for 2 years to earn your approval, but I'm starting to realize that nothing I do will ever be enough. Because you don't want me to be a good wife. You want me to disappear. Now you're being dramatic. I'm being honest, maybe for the first time. And honestly, I deserve better than this. I walked out before she could respond. That night, I told Daniel everything. She said I'm not Christian enough, that I have worldly tendencies, that I'll hold you back from ministry. Daniel rubbed his temples. She's just protective. She'll come around. She's been coming around for 2 years, Daniel. At what point do you acknowledge that she doesn't want me in this family? That's not fair. What's not fair is asking me to erase myself to please your mother. What's not fair is watching you sit silently while she dismantles my dignity piece by piece. I'm caught in the middle. No, you're choosing her. Every time you stay quiet, every time you ask me to compromise, every time you refuse to draw a boundary, you're choosing her. And I need to know, when we're married, will that change? Or will I always come second to your mother's approval? He didn't answer, and in his silence, I heard everything I needed to know. I didn't sleep that night. I prayed instead. Ugly, tear-soaked prayers that didn't sound like anything they taught in church. God, I don't want to give up. I love him, but I can't live like this. I can't spend my life being not enough for a woman who measures my worth by how small I can become. Show me what to do, please. The answer didn't come in thunder. It came in the quiet memory of my grandmother's voice, something she told me years ago. Baby, never marry a man who doesn't protect you. If he won't defend you before the wedding, he won't defend you after. Daniel wasn't a bad man. He loved me, in his way. But his way included a mother whose grip he couldn't break and a conflict avoidance so deep it left me defenseless. I deserved someone who would choose me, not eventually, not conditionally, now. I met Daniel at a park the next afternoon. I can't do this, I said, sliding the ring off my finger. I can't marry into a family that doesn't want me, and I can't marry a man who won't fight for me. He looked devastated. Rebecca, please, we can work this out. I'll talk to my mom. You've been talking to your mom for 2 years. Nothing changes because you don't want it to change. You want peace more than you want me. That's not true. It is true, and I don't blame you. She's your mother, but I refuse to spend my life competing with her for your loyalty. I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their compromise. I put the ring in his hand and walked away. He called for weeks. His mother sent a letter that somehow made everything my fault. His sisters unfollowed me on social media. I grieved. Of course I grieved. 2 years of hope, gone in an afternoon. But I also breathed easier than I had in months. The weight I hadn't known I was carrying began to lift. It took time to untangle the damage. I spent 2 years molding myself to fit Patricia's standards, and I lost track of who I actually was. I started reclaiming things she'd criticized. The wine I enjoyed, the career I loved, the friends I distanced, the faith that was mine, not filtered through her rigid interpretation. I learned that godly woman doesn't mean woman who disappears. That submission isn't erasure. That a good mother-in-law wants her son's wife to thrive, not shrink. And I learned that walking away from a wrong relationship isn't failure. It's wisdom. 1 year later, I ran into Daniel at a coffee shop 6 months after the breakup. He was alone. He looked tired. We made awkward small talk about weather and work. My mom asks about you sometimes, he said finally. I doubt that. She does. I think she realizes she pushed too hard. A little late for that. He nodded, staring into his coffee. I should have defended you. I know that now. I was so scared of disappointing her that I didn't see how badly I was hurting you. I know. I'm sorry, Rebecca. I really am. I believed him, but sorry doesn't rebuild what's been broken. I hope you find what you're looking for, Daniel, but I hope you figure out how to be your own man first. Otherwise, your mother will run off the next woman too. I left him sitting there with his regret. It wasn't my job to fix him. That was between him and God. To every woman whose in-laws have made her feel unworthy, you are not the problem. There is no magic formula for winning over someone who's determined to reject you. No amount of submission, accommodation, or self-erasure will satisfy a person who needs to control. But here's what I've learned. You don't need their approval to be worthy of love. You don't need to shrink to fit their expectations. And if your partner won't protect you from their family's attacks, that tells you everything about the marriage you'd be walking into. God didn't design you to disappear. He designed you to flourish. Find someone who wants you to bloom, not someone who expects you to wilt so others can shine. That's not asking too much. That's knowing your worth.